Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode in the vArmour Demo video series. My name is Aaron Goldman and I'm a Solutions Architect with vArmour. Today I will be demonstrating how the security graph, the heart of the vArmour application controller, seamlessly integrates with Tanium for application visibility across your infrastructure. Before we get into the demo, let me give you a quick background on how vArmour application controller provides visibility and control for CISOs and their security teams with its security graph technology. When you think about the applications that are running in your cloud environment, they are interconnected by nature. To protect your cloud, you must understand all the relationships between your application and your environment to identify risks so you can secure accordingly. With these relationships continuously changing, it's complex to secure even a single relationship. Real-world enterprise applications can have thousands of relationships, and when you compound that with multi-cloud environments, complexity and risk increase exponentially. This leaves CISOs with a very difficult problem, as pre-cloud technologies, for example, firewalls and SIEMs, do not understand relationships. That means CISOs today are blind to the digital relationships that drive their business. And attackers are exploiting these relationships to compromise critical assets. For example, if an attacker is able to gain a foothold by gaining access to a workload with privileged access, then in moving laterally through the environment until a critical asset is found, it can then be exploited. How can CISOs level the playing field? Better yet, how can they get ahead of these attackers? This is where vArmour comes in. vArmour solves three things with its application controller: consistent visibility, consistent policy, and consistent protection. This is done in three ways. First, discover your cloud workloads and applications across your multi-cloud infrastructure. Second, by building security policies based on your security objectives and intentions and reporting on those policies. Third, by computing and programming your native cloud security controls to enforce those policies. But first, let me demonstrate with the following diagram how vArmour is capable of tracking risk across multi-cloud environments. In this example, we have a multi-cloud environment with workloads and applications that communicate across the boundaries of each environment. If a hacker was able to gain access to, say, an on-premise application like App 0, they would potentially be able to laterally move throughout the environment to gain access to the more critical application or workload, the DB node. Understanding these types of relationships between workloads and applications is imperative to both understand and reduce risk across your environment. Before I begin the demo, let's talk about what we will see. One, the security graph provides visibility and observed actual application behaviors in the Tanium environment. Two, vArmour will also be able to automatically generate, test, and enforce policies to isolate applications, separate environments, enforce compliance, and more. With the Tanium integration via the vArmour SDK, data is sent from the Tanium module server to the application controller for additional context and dimensions to enrich the security graph for complete application relationship and workload visibility. Quickly, let's review the Tanium and vArmour integration. By navigating to the Interact module of Tanium and viewing the saved questions, we can quickly take a look at the network connections question that we are using to pull telemetry information from the Tanium agents to the vArmour application controller. Now, the integration also utilizes the Tanium Connect module to send this information into the vArmour application controller. Now, navigating over to the vArmour application controller, we can quickly take a look at the UI to see the number of workloads, relationships, and the specific application in question that we're looking at is this WordPress application. From here, we can see that we have two workloads that belong to this WordPress application. We can see the interactions with shared services, network management services, or even the Tanium management services themselves as they connect to the agents on those endpoints. Now, in the event that we wish to protect these systems, we can utilize the Tanium Protect module to configure and push policy down to these endpoints. Currently, we do not have any policies on this system. So what we'll do is we will navigate back over to the vArmour application controller. We will utilize the policy workspace to create a new isolation policy for the WordPress application. We will set it to be enforced. And now what the system will do is it will utilize the historical information that we've pulled from Tanium to then compute a policy for a zero trust isolation policy for the WordPress application. We can then utilize the simulate feature of the vArmour application controller to see the interactions or blocked workflows or block flows for this application. Lastly, what we will do is we will validate the policy to make sure that it will work within Tanium. Once this is done, we will then deploy the policy into the Tanium Protect. Now that the policy is done, we can view our active policies that we have on the vArmour application controller. We can navigate back over to Tanium Protect, and we'll see that we have a new WordPress Zero Trust Isolation policy. Now, opening up this policy, we can see that we have pushed the required rules from the application controller into Tanium, and we can also see that we are enforcing this on the two WordPress systems, specifically the web and database server. Thank you. To recap what we just saw in the demo, we learned that 1. By streaming Tanium information into the security graph, enterprises now have a centralized understanding of application relationships across their infrastructure. 2. vArmour enables enterprises to unlock more value out of the investments they've already made to ensure consistent policies. 3. Using vArmour's SDK for the Tanium integration provides additional context and dimensions that enrich the security graph for complete application relationship and workload visibility. Our customers are using vArmour to accomplish these 4 main security objectives, including reduce vulnerability to determine risk, monitor policy to detect violations, enhance incident response to expedite remediation time, enforce compliance to adhere to industry standard best practices. Hundreds of customers have used vArmour to solve these objectives, and you can too. For more information about our integration solutions, including Tanium, please visit vArmour.com for more information or to download a trial.